Today we are going to be reviewing the place value concept of rounding numbers. If you think back to the beginning of the year and really throughout third grade, we've done a lot with rounding numbers because it's super important that you know how to estimate and round numbers to find a number that's close to a number you may be working with. This is a skill that you're going to use a lot in the real world. So if you think about our numbers and where they fall in number lines, this is a huge helper that you can really use to determine where your numbers need to round to. If we're looking at the number 46, you should be thinking about what two groups of 10 does 46 fall between. Well, I know that when I count by tens, 46 comes between 40 and 50. If we were to go through and take the time to label every number on this number line, we would see that after 45, which is right in the center, comes the number 46. You then need to make the decision of whether or not 46 is closer to 40 or if it's closer to 50. Well, it's only 4 away from 50 and it's 6 away from 40. So that would mean that 46 rounds to 50 because it's closer to that number on the number line. Same thing with the number 122. If we're thinking about where that number falls on the number line, we should be thinking about what two groups of 10 or 100 is this number between. And in this case, we're going to do the nearest hundreds. Well, 122 falls between 100 and 200. And again, if 150 is that center number, 122 is going to fall somewhere around here. So that means that 122 is closer to 100 rather than 200. Taking this concept one step farther, getting rid of those number lines and thinking about our rounding roller coaster is another great tool that you can use to help you with rounding numbers. When we're using that rounding roller coaster, we're identifying a number, underlining the place that we're rounding to, so in this case it would be the nearest 10, and then we're looking at our neighbor because our next door neighbor is what helps us to decide where we round to. So in this case, my neighbor is a 5. And if you look on the rounding roller coaster, when we have a 5 or more, we add one more to that underlined place value. So when I add one more to 4, it becomes a 5. And then anything in the back turns to 0. So in this case, that would be one digit that turns to a 0. So 45 rounds to 50. Same thing for if you are rounding to the nearest hundreds. You would underline your hundreds place, look next door, and allow it to help you in making that decision. So let's do some examples here together. If I have the number 93, I'm going to underline my 9 because that's my tens place. I look next door, and the 3 is going to tell my 9 to let it rest because, as you can see, it's on that downward slope of the roller coaster. So if I let my 9 rest, it stays a 9, and then everything in the back turns to 0. So that would be 90. Now, this question is a little bit interesting when it comes to rounding to the nearest 100 because this number doesn't even go up to the hundreds. So we need to think about what group of 100 is it closest to. Well, it's between 0 and 100. And it's really close to one of those. So in this case, 93 would round to 100. Now, taking a look at 379. I look at my tens place, and then my neighbor, it says to add one more. So 7 added with one more becomes 8. The number in the back turns to a 0, and everything in the front stays the same. So 379 would round to 380. When I'm rounding to the nearest 100 with this number, I underline my hundreds place and look next door. The 7 tells the 3 to add one more, so that makes it 4. Everything in the back turns to zeros, so that would be 400. See if you can try this last example on your own, rounding to the nearest 10 and 100.